You don't need to build a business around your ultimate passion. Make sure it's something you genuinely enjoy, but you don't need to go down a rabbit hole thinking this needs to be the biggest thing you've ever created or the best idea you've ever had. Let's take that off the table. I'm Amy Porterfield, ex-corporate girl turned CEO of a multi-seven-figure business. But it wasn't all that long ago that I lacked the confidence, the budget, and the time to focus on growing my small but mighty business. Fast forward past many failed attempts and lessons learned, and you'll see the business I have today. One that changes lives and gives me more freedom than I ever thought possible. One that used to only exist as a daydream. I created the Online Marketing Made Easy podcast to give you simple, actionable, step-by-step strategies to help you do the same. If you're an ambitious entrepreneur or one in the making who's looking to create a business that makes an impact and a life you love, you're in the right place, friend. Let's get started. Hey there, welcome back to Online Marketing Made Easy. I'm your host, Amy Porterfield, and today we're diving into a topic that I'm incredibly passionate about, creating your very first digital course. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Amy, I'd love to create a course, but it just seems so overwhelming. I don't have time to build some massive, in-depth program right now. Well, my friend, I've got good news for you. You do not need to create a huge, complex course to get started. In fact, today, I want to encourage you to embrace the idea of just start. That's right. This episode is all about how to create your digital course and build it over time. Consider this your mini strategy guide to finally launching that course that you've been thinking about, sitting on for a while now. I'm going to walk you through how to start small, launch quickly, and then improve and expand your course month after month. By the end of this episode, you'll have a clear roadmap for creating an impact course without the overwhelm. But before we dive in, I want to share a quick personal story that I think may resonate with you. When I was first starting out in the online business world, I put so much pressure on myself to create this perfect, all-encompassing course right out of the gate. I thought I needed to have every little detail figured out before I could even think about launching. Well, let me tell you, that mindset led to a whole lot of procrastination and self-doubt. I kept pushing back my launch date, telling myself, it's not ready yet. I need to add more content. It needs to be perfect. But here's the thing. I eventually realized perfection is the enemy of progress. You know that to be true, right? And you know what? My first course wasn't perfect. In fact, that very first launch only brought in $267. Now, was that a glamorous start? Definitely not. But it was a start. Even the $267 launch, it was a start. And more importantly, it was where I learned the most valuable lessons about course creation and iteration. So if you're sitting there thinking your course idea isn't big enough or good enough yet, I want you to take that thought and toss it right out of the window. Your future students need what you have to offer, even if it's not the most comprehensive course in the world just yet. Now remember, every expert started as a beginner. The key is to just start and then commit to improving over time. Want to learn how? Well, let's get started. So let's talk about how you can easily build your course from scratch, even if you're feeling overwhelmed or unsure where to begin. The first step is to identify your course topic. And to do that, ask yourself, what specific problem can you solve for your audience? Remember, you don't need to be the world's leading expert on the subject. You just need to be a few steps ahead of your ideal student. And here's the exciting news. I have a really simple formula that you can use to figure out your course topic. It's called my sweet spot formula. So to start finding your sweet spot, picture 4 quadrants. The top left quadrant is your skills and know-how. What are you really good at? What comes naturally to you? Where have you gotten results for yourself or for someone else, both in the personal world and your business world? It doesn't have to be your passion, your end all, your be all, just something you can help others achieve. The upper right quadrant is your ideal customer. Who do you want to serve? And more importantly, what are they struggling with? We need to make sure your skills can solve their problems. So, whatever it is that you're thinking about creating that topic, make sure that it solves a problem for the people that you want to serve, the people that will eventually buy your course. Now, the lower left quadrant is market demand. Are people willing to pay for what you want to offer? Look for existing books, programs, or coaching in that area. And don't worry if it's already been done before. That actually is a good sign. It means there's a market for your course idea. I don't want you to be first to market with your first course. I want you to create something that maybe somebody else has created, but you're going to do it in your own way. So looking for proof that people are paying for help or support in this area that you want to create a course on is a great thing. The lower right quadrant, so the final quadrant, is what lights you up. Meaning, I don't want you to come up with a topic that you're not excited to teach. It doesn't have to be your passion, your end all, your be all, your life mission, but it does have to be something that you enjoy talking about and you will want to create content around. Because when you create a course on a certain topic, you're going to be talking about it a lot. So just make sure that the topic lights you up so that you stay in the game when things get hard, because at one point or another, they will. And the sweet spot, it's right at the intersection of these four quadrants. When you find that magical place where your skills meet customer needs, market demand, and your own excitement, that's where the magic happens. Now remember, you don't need to build a business around your ultimate passion. Make sure it's something you genuinely enjoy, but you don't need to go down a rabbit hole thinking this needs to be the biggest thing you've ever created or the best idea you've ever had. Let's take that off the table. Now, for the record, if you want to dive deeper into this process, I actually outline it in my book, 2 Weeks Notice. So you can grab my book, and for any different program, product, service, coaching you want to create, the sweet spot is a really great place to start. But for now, use these quadrants as your starting point to find that perfect idea for your course. Okay, so once you've nailed down your topic, it's time to outline your course content. So start with the end in mind. What transformation do you want your students to achieve by the end of your course? What will they be able to do or achieve after taking your course that they couldn't do before? Where are they starting and where are you taking them? This doesn't have to be some massive life-altering change. Maybe you're teaching them how to start a podcast. Maybe you're teaching them how to train their dog so they don't jump on people when they come to the front door. Maybe you are teaching them how to meal prep, especially someone who's never done it before. So you're taking them through the beginner steps to get started. So remember, whatever it is, you just want to define the end goal. What does it look like when they've gone through your course? Now that you know where you're taking your students, it's time to map out how you'll get them there. This is where we dive into creating your course modules. So each module represents the main steps they need to follow to reach the outcome that you've promised them. So when you're developing your modules, focus on communicating only the most fundamental steps toward that promised transformation. So for example, let's say you're teaching how to start a podcast. Your modules might be number 1, planning your podcast. Number 2, setting up your equipment. Number 3, recording and editing. And number 4, launching and promoting. Don't overthink this part. Just focus on the most essential steps, like the big steps to get your students from point A to point B. Remember, clarity and progress start to unfold for your students when you help them zero in on one thing at a time in each of the modules. Now, the next step is to create your core content or the lessons within your modules. I recommend between 3 and 7. So here's where a lot of people get stuck, but I don't want you to fall into that trap. For your initial course, focus on the most crucial information and actionable steps. You can always add more depth and additional resources later as you build and refine your course over time. Remember, I've had the same course since 2019. It looks very different today than it did back then. Back then, it got great results. Today, I'm a better teacher. I understand what my students want and need. I understand they can navigate through my program faster because every year I get more feedback from my students. But I had to start somewhere. And I knew how to get them results in 2019, but I'm even better now in 2024. So your course will get better with time, but that doesn't mean the initial course isn't going to be great. Okay, so back to the lessons. I want you to aim for each lesson within the module to be 5 to 10 minutes tops. So keep these lessons short, keep them sweet, to the point, and most importantly, keep them actionable. So one way to help students get fired up and ready to take action is by sharing relatable examples or stories. So whether it's a story from your own journey or success stories of past students or clients, these real life examples can be a game changer. When your students can see someone else achieving the outcome they want, they'll start believing, hey, I can do that too. And a word to the wise, don't get bogged down in creating fancy slides or professional videos right off the bat. You can start with simple screencasts or even audio recordings. The most important thing is to get your content out there. Now let's pause for a minute to talk about how to structure your course in a way that allows for easy expansion over time. So one approach is to create a solid foundation with your core modules and then plan for bonuses or advanced modules that you can add later. This way, you're providing immediate value to your students while also leaving room for some growth. So for example, let's say you're creating a course on social media marketing. Your core modules might cover the basics of creating social media strategy or setting up accounts on key platforms and creating engaging content. Then, as you build your course over time, you could add more advanced modules on topics like paid advertising, influencer partnerships, or analysis and reporting of the data. Now, another strategy is to create your course in phases or levels. Start with a beginner level course that covers the fundamentals. As you gain more experience and feedback from your students over time, you can create an intermediate or advanced level that build on the initial content. So this approach not only allows you to start small and grow over time, but it also provides a natural upsell opportunity for your existing students. Your existing students can go through the beginner fundamentals, and then when you're ready to create more intermediate or advanced content, you can welcome your existing students to upsell into another course or another level of the course you created. Remember, the beauty of digital courses is that they're not set in stone. You can continually refine and improve your course based on student feedback and your own growing expertise. Exactly what I've done with my own courses. This mindset takes some of the pressure off and allows you to gather valuable insights from your first group of students. Now, once your course is ready, you can plan a simple launch. Now, don't let the word launch freak you out because believe me, you can keep this simple. You don't need an elaborate launch strategy for your first go around. A basic email sequence to your list, even if it's small, some social media posts, that can be enough for your first students. The key here is to focus on the transformation you're offering. Highlight the problem you're solving and then the results your students can expect. Now, let's talk about what to do after your first launch. How can you build on your initial success and make your course even better over time? So first and foremost, pay close attention to your students' experiences and feedback. What parts of the course resonated with them the most? Where did they struggle or feel like they needed more information? Believe me, if it's your first course, that's going to happen. You just have to look at that feedback as data. Take the emotion out of it. Don't judge yourself if someone says, hey, this was really confusing. Say, okay, this is data. This helps me get better. Use this feedback to guide your course improvements. Now, one way to enhance your course is by adding more in-depth content to the existing modules. So for example, you might create additional case studies or provide more examples or dive in deeper into some of the strategies that you teach. You can also create some extra worksheets or templates or checklists that help your students implement what they're learning. Again, you're just building over time. The next time you launch this course, it's going to be even better. Another great way to add value is by incorporating more multimedia elements. If you started with just audio or basic screencasts, consider adding professional videos, animated explainers, or interactive quizzes over time, not for your first course. But these enhancements not only make your course more engaging, but also cater to different learning styles so it's easier to navigate through your program. You might also consider adding a community element to your course the second time around. So this could be a private Facebook group, a forum, even live Q&A sessions. You can add a Slack channel. You can add Voxer for, let's say, VIP clients that maybe pay more for more access to you. All in time, my friend. It doesn't have to be for your first course launch. So these little add-ons add value to your course, but they also help create a sense of accountability and support for your students. So again, your course just gets better with time. But I want to stop here and remind you, none of this is going to happen if you don't just start. So that's why I'm encouraging you to start simple, start small, and then you can make it bigger over time. When people go through my program, Digital Course Academy, I tell them, you do not need to do everything I teach. I'm going to give you a lot of ideas. I'm definitely going to give you the step-by-step roadmap to get to the finish line, but there's some things you can pick and choose along the way. And that's important to not think you have to do everything out of the gate at once. All right, now let's move to the fun part, pricing your course. As you continue to improve and expand your course, don't be afraid to increase your price. So many course creators, myself included, started with a lower price point for their initial launch of their course, and then they raised the price as they added more value. So this is a great way to reward your early adopters while also reflecting the increased value of your enhanced course. So for example, let's say you initially priced your course at $197. After your first launch, you add 2 new modules, create a workbook, and start hosting monthly live Q&As. With these enhancements, you might feel comfortable raising the price to $297 or $397. Make sure that any price increase is justified by the additional value you're adding, and also think about the results. If you're getting them bigger results than the last time you launched the course because you added some additional modules to help them get bigger results, well, then that justifies a higher price. Remember, increasing your price isn't just about making more money, although that's certainly a nice benefit. It's about reflecting the value and impact and the results that you're promising inside of your course. Okay, so I want to address a common concern I hear from new course creators. Many worry that if you start small, your course won't be good enough or that people won't buy it. Let me reassure you, my friend, a focused, action-oriented course that solves a specific problem is infinitely more valuable than a massive, overwhelming course that tries to cover everything right out of the gate, but doesn't really have the feedback to ensure that it's working. In fact, starting small allows you to create a course more quickly and get it out into the world where it can start helping people and giving you the feedback you need. And listen, don't just take it from me. Take it from one of my students, Lacey Gebbo. She's a hairstylist who filmed her course videos on her cell phone. And get this, she made them up as she went along. She didn't have an email list, so she was literally just promoting her course on social media. And guess what? She made $64,000 in 4 months with a couple of small launches. Because every time you launch, then you start to grow an email list, and then your email list starts to grow. Every time you launch, you tend to grow your social media. So she did these small launches and they started to add up over time, and she got better at marketing. Her list got bigger, her social media got bigger, so her results got bigger. So she started small, kept it easy, and then continued to get better. Here's the thing. Lacey didn't have her course perfected before she launched. She didn't obsess over every module and lesson. She didn't have fancy recording equipment, but she knew she wanted to get out from behind the chair. She didn't want to always be behind the chair in a service-based business. She wanted something different for herself, and she knew she could help others in her industry. So she took action, she launched her first course, and then over time, she made it better. And then there's my student, Edna Coaches. a chef who wanted to start a course teaching students how to use the fundamentals of cooking by using salt, fat, acid, and heat. Yeah, you heard me right, just the fundamentals. But there was one problem, so she thought. How could she translate what she was doing in the kitchen into a digital course? Surely she'd need an expensive professional videographer to film high quality HD footage of her cooking for her lessons, right? Wrong. Instead of letting the cost of a professional produced digital course hold her back, Edna created her course entirely on her own using the resources she had. She took my program, Digital Course Academy, to learn about how to launch her course. And on her very first launch, she enrolled 38 new students and made $29,000. And here's what's great. Edna can reinvest some of that $29,000 back into her business. And she can upgrade her course with high quality videography if she chooses. It's not necessary, but if she wants, now she has the money. And if you're thinking, but Amy, what if I only enroll a few students in my first launch? Here's a fun little secret. Your first students will actually appreciate being a part of your founding group. They'll feel invested in your success and will likely be happy to provide feedback to help you improve the course. If you only enroll a few people, those people you enroll will get the best attention ever and give you the best feedback. So let's not obsess over numbers. Let's just think, I want to get my students results. And over time, my list will grow. My social media will grow. I'll get better at launching, and I will have more students enroll. Plus, by launching your course sooner rather than later, you'll start building your reputation as an expert in your field. You'll gain valuable experience in marketing and selling your course, which will serve you well as you continue to grow and expand your offers. All right, so we've made it to the home stretch of this episode, but hang on, because I have a few more important things that I want to share. First, let's recap the key points I've covered already. 1, don't feel like you need to create a massive, all-encompassing course right out of the gate. Start with a focused topic and create the essential content that your students need to achieve a specific outcome. Second, structure your course in a way that allows for easy expansion, whether that's through bonus modules, advanced levels, or extra resources. Leave room for growth. Third, view your first launch as a learning experience. I always say your first launch is as much for you as it is for your students. And fourth, continually enhance your course over time. Add more in-depth content, incorporate multimedia elements, or include community features to add value to your students. And if you use membership.io in the future, there's a whole community feature that you will absolutely love. So just something to think about. There's so many options for you down the road. And finally, don't be afraid to increase your price as you add more value to your course. In fact, that's the beauty of digital courses. They're living, breathing entities that can grow and evolve right along with you and your business. It's not about achieving perfection right out of the gate. It's about starting where you are with what you have and committing to continuous improvement. Remember, every successful course creator started exactly where you are right now. The difference is they decided just to start. So here's my challenge to you. Take action on what you've learned today. Start outlining your course. Think about that first module. Set a launch date, even if it feels too soon. Because here's the truth. There will never be a perfect time. There will always be more you could add or improve. But your future students are out there right now, waiting for the solution only you can provide. Now, if you're feeling excited about creating your own digital course, but still have some questions about the process, I've got something special for you. I'm hosting a free live masterclass called 5 No-Fuss Steps to Creating a Profitable Digital Course from Scratch. During this interactive experience, I'll give you a start-to-finish overview of what it takes to get your course created and into the hands of students who need it, including how to create course content that makes you confident you can get your students results that more than justifies the price of your course, and how to market your course in order to see big results, even if you have a small budget or a very small audience, how to create your course focused audience growth plan so that after our time together, you won't ever wonder who you'll sell your course to ever again, and how to use AI as your course creation assistant, outsourcing those time consuming tasks and enjoying the benefits of a profitable course way sooner. I wish I had AI back in the day when I was creating all my courses. Whew, it would have made such a difference. I'll tell you how to use it and how not to use it because I don't want you to create a course that's super watered down in content and no one pays attention. So there's a right way and a wrong way, and I'll let you know on the masterclass. Now, here's the deal. I am only hosting 4 of these live masterclass experiences, and I won't teach this topic again for an entire year. You do not want to wait another year in order to figure out how to do this, how to add an additional stream of revenue, and how to start making a bigger impact in your business. So I'm only doing it now. You do not want to miss it. amyporterfield.com/masterclass. So amyporterfield.com/masterclass. You can grab your seat for free. And as always, thank you for tuning in to Online Marketing Made Easy. If you found this specific episode helpful, I would love for you to share it with a friend who also has been thinking about creating a course, might be course curious, or you think, dang, you should create a course. Go grab the link to this specific episode, text it to a friend, and say, this might help you build your business. I'd be forever grateful. All right. So again, amyporterfield.com/masterclass. I cannot wait to see you there.